Hello, everybody. This is the Brett David podcast coming to you from IQ Podcast Studio in Coronado, California. I'd like to welcome my friend and my guest, of course, Douglas Farell, who's where are we calling you from? Are you in Alaska? Where are you living now?
No, I'm in Woodland Hills, California,
Woodland Hills. Okay, Woodland
right up the
Hills is a
street
great.
from you.
Yeah. Okay. So
Malibu's right up the
Douglas,
street.
Doug, you're somebody that I've followed and I admired. There's a lot more to your life than we talked a little bit earlier than I even realized myself. Very inspirational. So
Hmm.
Douglas is a stuntman, actor, athlete. I mean, you've held some records in powerlifting. What else? What else am I forgetting?
Um, at the World Dwarf Games, I have a gold medal in 100 meters, shot put, javelin, and then powerlifting is my guy
I
that
love
I got
powerlifting.
that got me to the Paralympic Games in Atlanta and in Australia, 2001
You know, I
Sydney Games.
felt I felt pretty good about my powerlifting days and when I was 18, but when I heard your numbers of, I mean, I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, your max was like what my max was.
Good.
So tell us
We
tell us
accomplished
tell us your three lifts what they were.
three lifts because you only get three lifts in the games. So the first one was I think it was 345 because you got to play it. So you only get three lifts. You got to play it safe, because you only get three lifts, and you're watching your competitors. What's their final lift going to be? So you try to medal. So it was 360. Let's see, 367. Then my best was 405, but at the games I had to go like I think it was 380, 379 because in powerlifting you can't move, you can't lift the butt up. You get one foul out of three judges. You get one foul. Like if I bounce, you can't bounce the bar off your chest.
Right.
You can't you can't go up sideways. You can't lift the butt off the
It's got
bench.
to be
If
very
you do,
perfect.
yeah, if you do lift the butt off, that's one foul. But don't make any other ones bad. Like slide your feet, lift
Uh-huh.
your foot up, or move your head, then there's another foul.
So
You
we're
can do all
talking
of them, but don't
for
get
the
three.
for the average person is listening, he's talking about the bench press.
Yes.
And were you able to wear a compression suit at all back then, or did they even have them back
No,
then?
they had them back then. You can't wear I just wore a tight shirt. It's so strict that even our supplements, vitamins, you can't be on like 5 cups of coffee if they test you.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, that's enhancing. You can't, be on a certain amount of B12. Anything that's enhancing your performance, put away, the drugs, but the legal stuff, like pre-workout stuff, get your heart rate all going.
Can't do it.
You can do it, and if you medal, they're going to test you. They always test the medals, but sometimes they'll pick someone out of the crowd, to test them, before the lifts
So
and after.
when you started doing this, were you doing the stunt work or were you doing the acting in any way yet?
Well, I became an athlete first,
Okay.
and then I decided I was already doing stunts just in fun because I started riding motorcycles and horses when I was a little kid. My brothers all rode motorcycles, and there was no night. I'll give a big thank to the audience is that I'm 4'5", and my brothers are all 6 foot, and they didn't make bikes for us. They didn't, I rode big horses and I rode big motorcycles, and I
So you
always
did the
read.
real you did the real deal.
Yeah,
And
I did the
you had
real
to
deal.
what everybody else is. So how did you adapt to that?
Um, it's like my brothers always tell me, it's like get on the bike, motorcycle. Don't worry about the bike. The bike isn't going to get hurt. So you had to adapt. It's normal to me as growing up. You adapt to all these things that maybe the cupboard's too high or the pedals are too short for me to drive a car. It was just something back then. It was like that's easy. If someone was going to do it now or had to readapt and their enabled body and they're never had to go through what I had to go through, that's adapt. Turn have to adapt. This is where you're growing up, and so it's not like it's normal.
No. And I don't think anything in your life has been normal. I mean, let's go back to an
Yeah.
early age. So let's talk about when you, as far as you can remember back, when did you have to get into braces? When did you have to have these surgeries? When did it
Oh
all
wow,
start?
gosh, probably the braces didn't start till like 1 years old. My mom was taking me to Shriners Children's Hospital, and everybody knows what Shriners Hospital, the East West
Sure.
Shrine team, all the ball players, sponsor that in the big shrines, and so I went in there, and they had me wear braces when I went to bed between 1 and 5. You're at that growing stage, and you're still growing to 10. But at 5 to 6 years, right about 6 years old, I stopped wearing the braces. But I was wearing them every night, And then they just, you're not a guinea pig, but doctors are just learning from my growth, as a dwarf. And so that's where it started as a child, and then I went into the children's hospital to have my legs straightened out when I was 8, and then they kind of tested me, not testing me. I just watched my growth for 16 years, and after that, I was done. You're pretty
So
much,
back
you've
these types of
reached.
things
I mean, excuse me.
these types of things you're talking about, there wasn't a lot of information for people
Yeah, uh,
that had the challenges that you had growing up. I mean, this is all kind of experimental in a lot of ways, right?
just
The braces
yeah.
at night, the all these other varieties of things you had to go
Oh,
through.
yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's yeah, it's new. Yeah, it's something you had to, and I adapted easy to. That's funny. When I was
I don't know
ready to
how
come home
anybody
from the
could
hospital.
I don't know how anybody could adapt easy to something like that, especially a child.
Yeah, I hear you. It's my dog's barking at me, but anyway, I apologize.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
have
it's a
to.
family show. We're pet friendly.
Oh yeah, she's playing with me. Come here, come here,
Baby.
come here, come here, come here, come here. Okay, we got it,
Oh,
man.
okay. That's your baby.
We got it. Yes, yeah, that's her. Oh shit, gosh. What a mess.
What's your baby's name?
This is Sophie.
Sophie. Is that your
This is
only
Sophie.
baby?
Oh shit. Yeah, we couldn't have children. Oh, my wife. So this is my child here. Gosh.
So all these challenges that you went through as a kid, when did you realize you wanted to get into the profession you're currently in? I mean, you're involved with a lot of different things. I mean, I think that he's I think we lost him there for a second. We're talking to Douglas Farrell, who's a stuntman, and
Go. Get
like
out of here.
the things he's doing is just amazing with his career and
You there, Red?
yes. So I could call you an actor too, right?
Yep, I'm back. That's part of having kids. Yeah.
Oh, I know. We just
It's
got done doing the same thing, kind of, sort of.
did you really? Yeah.
So you're an actor also. You're not just a
Okay.
stuntman. You're a stuntman. You're an actor. You're an
Well,
athlete. I mean, you're still an athlete, and I mean,
yeah. I'll always
how
be an athlete. Yeah.
how do we define you?
Crazy. No. um,
An anomaly.
world
You're an
champion.
anomaly.
Yeah. I mean,
So
student
so
of the game.
acting. So I could call you
Yeah.
actor, stuntman. That would be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Stuntman actor.
Okay. So what movies have you appeared in so far that we might be familiar with?
I did Return of the Jedi, Star Wars. I did Mandalorian as the Jawa. Those are my two big ones.
Return of the
Just
Jedi, was
finished
that
with
the second
Disney
one?
doing a third.
Star
That
Wars?
was the third one. Empire, yeah, Empire Strike Back was the second one, and Star Wars was the first one.
Okay, so Star Wars, and then you were in the Return of the Jedi.
Yes, that's the third one.
Okay,
Star Wars is
how
number one, the first
what
one.
right?
Empire Strikes
What
Back is
character
the
did you?
second one. Ewok.
Okay, that must have been a great experience.
Yeah, it was. It's I mean it was new to me and it was fun. I was young, but those costumes are hot. They're a lot of fun, and it was great
How did they take
experience.
care? How were you taken care of? Did they take care of you pretty well on the set?
Oh yeah, movie industry, yeah, definitely, yeah, keep it cool, yeah. I mean, they take the suit off offset, but yeah, you're well taken care of.
Good, because I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I can't
yeah.
imagine how many hours you probably put in for something like that, and then how many hours you wore that costume. How many hours did you wear that costume?
Well, it's like 8 hours a day, off and on, so you can imagine. Cut,
Wow,
go to this, go to that, go to that, go up that hill, go over here, go there, and stuff like that. But it was a job. You had to do it.
sure.
It was fun. You know,
Well, you're part of movie history.
yeah, it's George Lucas is done well. He's a great guy. I enjoyed working for him and having conversations.
That's great. What other things are you currently working on?
Um, well, let's see. One I'm working on is Thor. That's all I can say.
Okay,
I really, it's Thor, but um, even though they're already talking about it, I IMDb, so that's great.
well, Sarah will be glad to hear that you're working on Thor because she's a big Thor fan. I don't know if she likes the comic book or she just likes the actor. What's his name?
I
What's the
should
actor's name that
should
played?
say we're done. We're done with Thor.
What's that?
Thor's done. But yeah, they just finished.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So it's done. You're
yeah. They
done. You're done working too with that.
they may be doing other stuff. I can't answer that to you.
Okay.
Um, there's a lot of things here. I can't say
Sure.
so I
I
can't
get
talk
it. You had to
about.
sign. You had to sign a
I,
probably a
well,
non-disclosure.
yeah, I got it. I could get in trouble.
Yeah, you probably
It's
signed
just
a
like
non-disclosure.
I just give you a movie and that's it. Next I go on
Sure.
IMDb and they'll have a little more information than me because I may slip and say something that
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
don't want
supposed to
that to. We don't want that
say.
to happen. Yeah, we don't want that to happen.
No, no.
So, what are your goals coming up? Anything you want to work on that you haven't done, or any ideas or thoughts that maybe
Mar-
been on the back burner for a while?
Marvel. I want to do Marvel. I want to double Peter Dinklage more often. Do movies, do stunts, do whatever comes up. It's been a good year for me. I did a western. Dave Davenport. I did. Let's see, we did Rescue Rangers. Well, from Disney. That's coming
Is a
out
lot of the Marvel
summer.
is a lot of the
Just finished
Marvel
this.
yeah. Is a lot of the
Or
Marvel work being done in Georgia now?
uh, go ahead.
Yeah, is a lot of the Marvel movies being made in Georgia now?
No, this was Australia, and they kicked their.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
really?
Marvel Studios out there. I correct it just to correct that, but a lot of stuff is filmed. They were in Australia filming that, and
Oh,
they
that's
had to come
great.
back here because Australia locked down.
Yeah, locked
But
down.
yes, Georgia, Georgia, that's where everything's at. You
Would you
know,
ever move to Georgia?
yeah, I could go there and rent apartment, whatever. If they said, "Hey, Doug, we're going to need you here for a couple of years," a lot of my friends are out there, and I've been offered to like say, "Hey, if you need a place, come on, you got a place to stay."
That's
And if it's
nice.
well worth it, and then it's like get on a plane and go.
Yeah, because I know there's a lot of stuff going on in Georgia right now in the movie industry.
Oh, it's been going on. Yeah, that's where Marvel is. That's where a lot of stunt coordinators moved and went to because there was work. Because California was kind of not the shut down even before, because the California, what is it, the tax? They're pulling out of here because California is, they just don't think, and So everybody said goodbye. Film industry said bye. Maybe the commercials and the TV shows are here, but the big movies, New Zealand, New Mexico, um, Hawaii, uh, New York, and Florida.
I heard Canada too, right?
In Canada, I was supposed to go to Canada a couple weeks ago, but they put the quarantine on us.
Oh,
And
okay.
that movie, I could talk about that. That movie's called American Dreamer, and I was supposed to double Peter Dinklage. Um, they so that's already online stuff, so I could talk about that. But
Sure.
yeah, there's a
What's
lot.
Peter?
Everybody's going to Canada.
What's Peter like?
He's mellow. He's
Really?
strictly business. Yeah, he's a nice guy once you get to know him, and talk to him, have conversation. But he's strictly business. Because these actors, they go and they go to their trailer, got to do their lines on their sides, and then they got to
Right.
go back to do the set and do their things. So there's no between lollygagging and chit chatting. Stop talking to everybody. You're on. You got to remember your lines, and they're practicing. When they're done, they either rehearse or they go back to their trailer. So there's not a lot of time with camaraderie of everybody.
Gotcha.
It's just
Gotcha. It sounds like you love what you do.
I love it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's work there for me, um, and it's the people are great too, and the business is great. I mean, and working around these people, I like stunts. I mean, acting's good. I'm not the best
So
actor in the world. Otherwise, go ahead.
let's talk about stunt work and how that transpired and some of your favorite stunt scenes that you've done. Let's talk a little bit about how you got into it and some of your favorite stunt scenes that you've worked on.
I got into it with my wife because she did a lot of the stunts in Jedi. So, but she got out of the biz and got a real job, and I continued with it. Just a lot of people ask me to get into the stunts, and because there's more opportunity too. You can't just grasp onto one thing.
Right.
It's like if I'm going to build a house, I want to paint the house too. I want to put the carpet in. So you want to kind of contract everything, and that's what I wanted to do. So it's athletic stuff. It's a lot of fun. Whether you're on a wire, whether you're making a 25, 30-foot fall into an airbag, whether you're riding a motorcycle, bicycle, flipping over, um, those things. I'm a thrill seeker.
But I would think also, and you can correct me because you're an expert in this area, there's probably a lot of planning.
Planning for me to plan for what I want to
Well,
do.
for stunts, details on the stunt. I don't think you just go
Oh,
into a
most, yeah.
scene, right?
Oh no, it's just like practicing for football practice.
Right.
It's like
I would think
all
there's
that.
probably
Yeah.
a lot of detail that most people don't think about.
You got to have your stunt gear on. You got to walk through. Safety is very important. You got to make sure everything's set up right. Then the scenes that you have to rehearse the scenes. Then you got to go through. Whether you're on fire, that's my next thing I want to do. I want to be set on fire. That's another stunt that's be great to do.
You haven't done that
But yeah,
yet.
no, I haven't done this. No.
That would freak
Lane
me out.
Levitt.
You know, I've seen somebody do that stunt, and I'm like, I don't know if you could pay me enough to set me on fire like that. I don't care what safety precautions. I see myself being a hot dog, a weenie on the grill.
Yeah. And some things are made for uh, craziness, and some things are made just taking the cruise. Yeah, when you do fire, you can't. You got to wear 100% cotton. You can't wear contacts. Um, there's certain
Contacts.
things, and yeah, because they'll melt right in your eyes. The heat.
Wow. Wow.
So if you're ever in a house fire, just better hope that and you can't get out. You better hope that you're not wearing polyester
Oh,
and
man.
eye contact.
I have never, that is the first time I've ever heard that. Sarah, have you ever heard that before?
Nope. That's freaky. That scares
Yeah.
me.
Imagine going blind because your contacts melt in your eyes. from the heat. That's freaky.
Well, you have safety precautions, so you have everything. You're not going to be doing it. Now, if you're caught in a fire, I don't know. I've never heard of it, but it's on the list.
Oh,
It's
I'm
to
sure.
do not wear contacts during this. There's so much in the background of safety. You know how to do
So
something, prepare something. You just don't get thrown out there and say do the stunt. That's ridiculous.
what's the favorite stunt and the most challenging stunt you've done to date?
Well, I guess being on a wire timing, um, I had to be like 30, 40 feet up in the air on the sand crawler with the Mandalorian coming down on a gable, and I really couldn't see much out of my costume, but I had to measure everything and look at everything before I buckle down and put everything on because your eyes get foggy and a lot of this because I was a Jawa. And they're red. The eyes are red. You're looking out and you're looking through a fish net, like in cover up. It's almost like a speaker, like that cut on our music speaker, our speakers, that material that's on my face, so you can't see out much. So you're really got to just measure everything and up in the air and getting kicked in the head. It's pretty crazy.
How many total movies have you worked on average, if you had to guess? You don't have to give me an exact number, maybe a
Oh
ballpark.
gosh, I mean, God, I've been out of the business for 15 years, and I just got back 6, 7, 8 years, maybe five. Not a
Five
big
movies?
number, but yeah,
Yeah, but you've been in quality movies. I mean, you get involved with George
a lot of
Lucas
stand-ins.
and huh?
Right, right, right. A lot of
And then you get then
stand-ins
you
too. I've done too.
so you got
Yes,
George Lucas and
stunts
you got Marvel.
mm-hmm.
Now I
Tahika.
heard occasionally you even train Arnold at the gym. I hear he
Yeah,
is under your tutorage.
yeah, that's right. I'm training
You
him
keep
now.
you, you keep him squared, keeping him squared at the
It's
workouts. Are you
where I
making
go.
him make sure his form is good? I know he likes to do the cheat curl, but and he's using a lot of machines now. But are you
Yeah.
keeping him
Well,
in line?
well, speaking of cheat curls, he just got on my case because I was not going to full extension to do the curl, and then he was all over me on that one. And let me tell you, I get ripped every time we get, not every day, but the times we meet, it's like, I'm walking in, I'm gonna, here it goes, get ready, work out, and get ripped.
So what did you say when he said your form was off?
What did he say or what did I say?
What did you say?
I just, oh, I just looked at him like, you know, like,
What are you gonna do?
like,
What are
yeah,
you gonna do? Right? You
yeah,
have one of the greatest action stars of all time, one of the greatest Mr. Olympias of all time, and one hell of a
yeah.
prankster. And what are you gonna say? Right? It's just gonna get
Hey,
worse.
I need his help on things. Like I'm not gonna, make it any worse. Just shut up and do the set. And that's what he usually says. He'll, the part of his movie, he gets in my face and he goes, "Do it." When he was with what was it with Carl Weathers in Predator,
Yeah.
and he's, you do it. He's been pushing pencils. You've been pushing pencils lately. We go grab onto me. There's a video out there. Him and I are
That's
doing his
hilarious.
thing. And I'm going backwards. And he says, pushing too many pencils. And I'm like, he's like, just making me shake. It was part of the
So you train pretty much every day. You do something.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty much
And
for the last
why
30.
is that so important to you?
Well, there's three things. Being, I love being in shape. I love feeling good. I love just, you got, especially my career, you got to be in shape. You got to be ready. I ride dirt bikes, motocross, and that keeps me going. And that, I use that as my stunt. And plus, being a short person, born with dwarfism, we can be real heavy, too heavy because for our size, I'm the size of a 7-year-old kid, and when you're weighing 130 pounds, that's just too much on your body. So I like to stay lean, makes longevity. I like health. I like Eastern medicine. I like doing martial arts and it just, it makes me feel good. about myself.
Well, you know,
And I
it's
got to be
really
ready
biz
too. Someone asked me
right,
to do something,
and
you're
by the
ready.
way,
And if you're off,
you look phenomenal. You also, uh, like motivational speaking, and you've actually, has spoke at the White House before, haven't
hmm
you?
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. Tell the audience about that.
When we went to the Paralympic Games, they invite after the Olympics and the Paralympics. We're all in 1 week together. One comes after the other, and the president invited a lot of the athletes from the last 30 years. You know, Michael Rizioni, the hockey gold team that beat Russia, um, but Riddick Bowe, who won a gold medal. So we went to the White House dinner, and then we all went out to the community to speak to inner city kids, which is I love to do, and motivate them, get them, give them a chance, let them feel good about themselves, and that there's more to than drugs and gangs on the streets. Because it was pretty much when we went into the schools, they had metal detectors. We're talking first graders in Washington, first graders, second graders, metal detectors that go into the school. And I go, this is nuts. This is what, 2001, 1995. And so, yeah, we went out and talked to kids, and I was on the, in Clinton, all of us went out to the football field, talked to a bunch of high school kids. It was a big week of motivational speaking and inspiring kids to, you can do it too. If we can do it, you can do it. Because at Paralympic Games, you have a lot of people with disabilities, and you have people in wheelchair, like wheelchair rugby, wheelchair uh, uh, basketball. You got blind judo. You've got um, several palsy, weightlifting, dwarf weightlifting. You've got several amputees. One leg, no leg, one arm, swimming, anything that they can compete in. Track and field and all. So it's. We hope we can inspire kids that don't have a disability, but are just don't have a chance because where they're living.
Were kids pretty receptive when you were speaking to them?
At first, they'd never seen a little person. It was kind of like I got surrounded by like it's like they were touching me like because they've been stuck in the inner city, never seen the real world. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just there and when I finished speaking, the whole atmosphere changed. It was not laughing with me at me before or saying the M word. And with kids, it was the other way. Afterwards, it was like I wowed them, and it was like they came up, pat me on the back, and said thank you, and were really inspired. And how can I do this? What can I do to blah blah blah? Stuff like that. So it just totally changed after I finished talking and gave them my accomplishments, what I did, what they can do. They forgot about my disability. They saw a person with a heart, human being that can really accomplish things if he's given the tools and the path to do it. This motivation is all you need.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing, and I think more than ever we need to reach out to our inner cities. There's a total disconnect in the
Oh
country
gosh,
right now, and there are a lot of kids that have been shut down and masked and put in their rooms, and they have not been out, and so things are starting to open up again, or have opened up, I guess, this week, right, Sarah? And we would love for you to come to San Diego and talk to some inner city schools over
yeah.
here, and with the police department.
Oh sure, yeah, definitely, no problem. Yeah, I would
I
love to
think it
do
would be
that.
phenomenal to get you there and have you work there. And what's what is it that drives you? Where does this drive and this
I'm
to
glad. I'm
excel?
glad. I'm glad you asked. Yeah. Well, people told me what I could do and couldn't do. You can't do that and stuff like that. It's kind of funny. Doctors, when I was sitting in bed and I couldn't walk at Shriners Children's Hospital, they would ask you, "What do you want to be?" I said, "I want to be a football player." And it's like, but you're still growing up. You're 8 years old. You think you're going to grow to be tall and you're going to be able to play with all the other kids, and but after a while, your mom has chalks with you that you're not going to be able to do those things. You can't play football. The kids are bigger. You'll get hurt. Doctors don't want you to play. Um, but it's like I know there's something out there I could do. And a quick note: after I came back from Shriners Hospital, our football team let me play the last game in Pop Warner. I played
Really?
fullback, I played linebacker, and yeah, and I have, and it's like I got pictures of it, and it was that's inspired me more. But I didn't let anything, the narrative, the surrounding bug me. I kept playing. I played little league baseball. I kept playing sports. I didn't play it in high school. And the meanwhile, I was riding horses and riding motorcycles. You know, I got into more dangerous sports that I can do. So I just wanted to win at something. I wanted to be a winner, and I broke world records in powerlifting. Um, I I ride motorcycles. I ride horses. I can do everything that you can do, and or able bodies that could do. I adjust to where it was easy. It's easy for me to. 'Cause I've been doing it all my life, and so. But when I was, my parents would tell me you could do anything anybody else could do. You got to put your mind into it, put your heart into it, and do it. And I found a way. I mean, if I have to climb up the ladder to get that top shelf thing, whatever it is, I'm going to do it. If I have to walk 2 miles when that's something to go play, little league, I'm going to go do it. Somehow I'm going to hop on that motorcycle. I'm going to ride it, whether I crash 10 times. My brothers used to stick me on the bike. Don't worry about the bike. Bike's not going to get hurt. Maybe that's how I became a stunt person. Always falling off the dirt bikes. And they always taught me, because they're average size. I'm young, so 6 kids, 3 boys, 3 girls, and they're all average size.
Not only you not only kept falling, but you kept giving up.
One had
Or not getting up. You
high
kept
school. They
getting
just
up.
wanted to go to work and stuff. And but they, my brothers, right? I mean, they taught me everything. There was no problem getting up there. No problem.
I appreciate you taking the time, and I would love to have you come to San Diego and us do a live show, and even have you do radio with me at my radio. We have a radio. We work with KCBQ
Yeah.
Radio. I'd love to have you be my co-host. I think there's a lot we can do. I think a lot of the world and the kids need to hear more stories about falling,
Okay.
and not being afraid to fall, and also continuing not to give up. And I think you are the living embodiment of that.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. If I can help any one kid, that kid will help another kid and inspire the next
Is there
one
any
and the next one.
is there any question you want to ask
Generations.
me?
And
Anything you want to ask me before we go? Well, I guess he doesn't want to ask me a question.
we keep getting disconnected.
Well, I appreciate you being on the show, Douglas. Yes, I love talking with you, and I look forward to doing another show. And thank you so much for everything you've done. You're an inspiration, and we appreciate you. You take care of yourself.
Sorry, Brett. I don't know why we get lost.
I said I appreciate everything you do, and I look forward to doing more interviews with you down the road. And thank you for everything you do.
Oh, no problem, man. And let's do something together. Let's go inspire some kids. Let's go help someone, and
Absolutely.
and that's the one. I really appreciate it.
Douglas Farell, I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate everything you do. We're lucky to have you, and thank you for being an inspiration and keep making us keep our chin up.
Thank you.
You're
Salute
awesome,
to you.
man.
Thank you for having me on. Go Raiders.
And you're also a Raider. You're also a Raider fan, so I like you even more now. You take care, man.
There you go. Right on.
Okay, I like to thank
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I like to thank my sponsors because they're a huge part of the show. I'd like to thank Indian Motorcycle of San Diego. I'd like to thank Saquon Casino and Resort and Cody Martinez. We're going to be doing our amazing Halloween extravaganza brought to you by IQ Podcasts and many other sponsors. And of course, I'd like to thank IB Fitness and Marina Teal for always being there for us and being an amazing partner and friend and auntie to my kids. I also would like to thank Nikki Rottens for having probably the best ribeyes, some of the best ribeyes and steak sandwiches in San Diego, and a lot of other things. And we're going to be honoring our chief of police from Coronado coming up there in a couple of weeks. So thank you, Nikki Rottens, for supporting our law enforcement and our military. We appreciate that. And last and not least, I'd like to say thank you to Attorney King for being my brother and supporting everything we do in the community and with IQ Podcast. You're a great partner. You're a great friend. And congratulations on getting your Best of the Best award last night from the Union Tribune on the Midway. Sarah, myself, McKenna, and Mackie had a great time, and it was a great event. I think you got 3 awards, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, 3. No, he's gotten many. He hasn't got. He got the top attorney for defense attorneys in motorcycle and automobile accidents.
8 years in a row.
I think it's been more than that. I think he's gotten more years than 3. We'll have to double check on that, but even 3 is phenomenal. Hell, I'm a 3-time Mr. Universe. Everybody take care of yourself. Everybody behave. Enjoy the weekend. Love your neighbor and take care.